You don't struggle with Italian because it's difficult. You struggle because when it's time to speak, everything disappears. You freeze, you overthink, you stay silent, and after a while a thought creeps in. Maybe Italian just isn't for me. It is. You were just never trained to speak it. Over the years, I have worked with hundreds of English speakers learning Italian. Smart people, busy people, motivated people. Some were complete beginners. Others had studied Italian for years. Different starting points, same problem. They understood more than they could say, or they avoided speaking altogether. They all told me similar things. I don't have time.
I'm too old.
I'm bad at languages.
I'm not in the right environment.
Many had already spent time, energy and money on apps, tutors and expensive courses with very little result. When we changed the approach, not the effort, Italian started coming out. In the next few minutes I want to show you the 3 main beliefs that quietly stop Italian from ever sticking for most people, and how removing them allows people to start speaking Italian in as little as 9 weeks. But first, one important thing. This isn't a grammar lesson. If you want to learn faster and better, I need you to understand something much more important. Why Italian disappears the moment you try to speak. Let's start with the first belief. I am bad at languages. This belief usually appears very early. It shows up the first time you hesitate, the first time your mind goes blank. You know exactly what you want to say, but nothing comes out. At that point, people don't think,
I need a different method.
They think,
there is something wrong with me.
And here is the most important part. This happens to everyone. I've seen it with CEOs, athletes, actors, but also with people who just want to speak Italian after work or with family. The problem is never the person. Let me give you an example. I once worked with an engineer responsible for planning airplane landing areas in extremely difficult locations. High pressure, zero margin for error. People's lives depended on his decisions. You would expect Italian to be easy for him. It wasn't. He came to me frustrated and said,
I've tried so many tutors. I'm just not good at languages, but I'm marrying an Italian, so I have to learn.
The first few lessons he froze, completely blank. The problem wasn't intelligence, clearly, and it wasn't memory. It was pressure. He was trying to think, choose the right words, the right tenses, prepositions, connectors, and speak all at the same time. If this is happening to you, the problem isn't your Italian. It's the amount of thinking you are trying to do while speaking. So we did the most sensible thing. I didn't give him more rules. I gave him structures he could lean on while speaking. Italian came out. Not perfect, but enough. And once that happened, the belief broke. Because going blank is not a personality trait. It's a habit, and habits can be changed. Now, the second belief sounds sensible, responsible even, which is why it causes so much damage. I need more grammar before I speak. So people keep studying. They learn another tense, another rule, another exception. And when it's time to speak, their head is full and their mouth is empty. I've had so many students tell me,
I know the rules, I just can't use them.
That's because speaking isn't about knowing more, it's about choosing faster. Grammar doesn't help you choose, it gives you more to think about. And the more you think, the slower you speak. When speaking is trained first and grammar supports it, that changes. Not perfect Italian, Italian that actually comes out. Now think about this. Most Italian courses are built to be consumed on demand. You watch a video when you have time. You pause it. You restart it later. That works for understanding. But speaking doesn't work on demand. Speaking needs timing, other people, and repetition in real situations. And that's exactly where most systems break down. And that leads directly to the third belief, the one that quietly makes people give up. I don't have the time or the right environment. Most adults are busy. Jobs, family, limited mental energy, so waiting for perfect conditions doesn't work. The right moment to start Italian does not exist. My system is based on two simple principles. No waiting for motivation, no guilt-driven study. When the approach fits real life, consistency stops being a struggle. Italian becomes part of the routine, not another task. Many of my students attend lessons even while on holiday. Not because they paid for them, but because Italian, the group and the atmosphere gives them energy. It becomes part of their life. Like eating, like breathing, like the things you don't question anymore. What actually makes Italian stick isn't more study. It's being in the right environment often enough for long enough. That's exactly why this program exists. Not to give you more content, not to add more tools, but to change the way you approach Italian. Inside the program, you step into a structure designed to make Italian usable and sustainable. Italian is used, not just explained. Speaking is guided, shared, and low pressure. Grammar supports communication instead of blocking it. This isn't about studying more, it's about training your brain to respond in Italian. At this point, the choice is simple. You can keep using the same approach and hope Italian eventually comes out on its own. Most likely it won't. Or you change the approach. Click the button below to join the waiting list. There is no commitment. You will answer a few short questions. When a spot becomes available, you'll have a free assessment chat, so you are placed in the right environment from the start. That's where Italian is used regularly and becomes natural instead of forced. And remember, stick to Italian and Italian will stick to you. Ciao!